Hi everyone. I'm a few days late, but better late than never. My name is Wangari and I'm a brand alignment strategist. And what that means is that I help service based solopreneurs build their personal brand online and leverage it to grow their impact, influence, and income online. So this month I've been talking about creating content that connects and collects. And the week before last, I talked about three misleading myths about content creation and how to overcome them. And just building off of that, today I'll be touching on how to sell on social media without feeling salesy about it. And what that basically means is that you want to be able to talk about the value and the benefits of what you're offering without having to say directly or to say directly buy my product. I mean, you will eventually have to sell because it is your goal at the end, but a good way to talk about it comfortably and to showcase the value is to talk about the benefits. And so, a good guideline I use is the AIDA mnemonic. That's AIDA. And in marketing, that stands for the journey that you take your audience through in order for them to meet a certain objective. So for you, that would be to either offer them something, a product, or to make a connection, your end goal basically. So A stands for awareness, I is interest, D is the decision, and A is the action. So I'll take you through that process and how your content should be fulfilling one of those objectives in order to help you meet your final goal. So when it comes to awareness, that's about being found online. And with social media, that would mean using relevant titles that speak to someone's problem and a solution that you're offering them, or using the right hashtags and keywords to be found online on different social media platforms. So I talk about that in detail in my social media challenge that I've been running for the last couple of weeks, and I just give you guidance on what are the right keywords and hashtags to use and on which platform to use them. Then another objective of your content in terms of meeting your eventual sales goal is building interest. And how you do that is by creating relevant content that elicits engagement. So while you don't want to be piggybacking off of every trend that comes up, you need to pick topics, hot topics that are relevant to your brand. So for example, because my audience is female solopreneurs, there's a lot of empowering information I like to share. And when you think about the news lately, Serena Williams had there was a controversial final in which she lost, and a lot of the story around that was how she was really defending her honor and how one of the judges was implying that she cheated while she didn't. And for me, that would be relevant in terms of writing a motivational blog post on how women need to be able to stand up for what they believe in. And a big part of being able to run a business online is because you believe in your worth, in what you have to offer, and that it's something that you can use to, build a successful foundation for your life and your family. And that starts with being able to stand up for yourself and what you believe in. So you see the key here is to be relevant. Then when it comes to decision, this is where you create a trigger to start the actual sales process. So you do this, for example, with a freebie or an introductory offer. So if you look at my website, I have a freebie for every area that I work in. So remember last month we talked about building your personal brand, and I had a brand bio formula that in exchange for your email, I could give you the worksheet. Or I have an introductory product, which is like my social media challenge, where I help people clean up their social media feed so that they're getting relevant information and connecting with people that will help them achieve their goals. So that is my introductory offer that will then move you down the process to work with me either on a consulting basis or on bigger projects. Then the last step is the action, which is the actual sale. Now, the other three first points are not worthwhile unless you're making this last one happen. So there's no point working on awareness, interest, and influencing a decision if you're not going to call your audience to take an action. That's the whole point of using your brand to influence, and then you have an eventual impact that will give you an income. See what I did there? Anyway, so that's how the IDA process works. And my advice is always to think about, when you're sharing content, what part of the journey are you speaking to, and is the content actually meeting that need? So with regards to your personal brand, because with service based businesses, you are the face of your business, and it's your brand that you use to influence your audience to take a certain action. So my advice in terms of content is to think of themes and categories that are in line with your brand. So whether it's ideas or images, you need to use them to start a conversation. So, but whatever conversation you start should be about what you can do for your followers. So for example, because I myself am a solopreneur, so that's like a one-man show, and I work with other solopreneurs, so a lot of the imagery that I like to use is, you'll see someone's laptop on their desk with some stationery, or someone working from a coffee shop, because that's the lifestyle behind the business I work with. So I'm not just going to post that picture and say, oh, look at this, or me post a picture of myself working and put a fancy quote. It doesn't help anyone, and I'm not just here to help myself grow, I also need to serve my audience. That's how I grow. So even if I post a picture that relates to the lifestyle behind my brand, I can use that as a conversation to talk about how important it is to be disciplined in terms of creating time for you to work on your business, or sharing tips. These are the best coffee shops in Johannesburg to work from that help you stay focused, or they provide you with internet and that kind of thing. So it has to be of value, not just for me, but for my audience. So other examples of content that you can share that is with regards to selling without selling is how you can, for example, how do you serve your audience? So a good example would be, you can share a picture that is relevant to the themes or the lifestyle. Or for example, let me give even a simple example. If you like flowers, flowers are about season and blossoming and growing. So you can use flowers to talk about how you're growing in your business. So, and you can talk, for example, and say, these are 5 lessons I learned while building my business, and for you to avoid, so that you don't make the same mistake and grow faster. And it could be around how you need to give yourself time and space to develop and pay and use personal development. And I have this resource that will help you develop this part of yourself that will help you run your business. So you make the connection that way. Another example you can use, for those of you who like sharing selfies, or you like doing photo shoots and that kind of thing, you can show a picture of yourself, but here is the content behind it. You talk about 5 interesting facts about me and how those traits helped me successfully run my business. So you can be talking about how you're a social butterfly, and because of that, it's so easy for you to meet and make connections, and that's how you're always getting new prospects to work with in your business. So the key here is that you still get to stay true to who you are and what you're about, but you're still serving your audience because you have an eventual goal that you're trying to achieve. So that's where you get the balance. Another interesting way is you can show yourself working or creating a product. Like maybe you're working on a worksheet that you want to use to teach or train, and you can say, oh, I'm busy working on a worksheet to help people connect with influencers on Twitter, and then there, ask me any questions that you may have about networking online. So you see, you're showing something that's authentic, that's relevant, and then you're making a connection to your audience so that they see the value in what you have to share with them, and you move them down further the process of the goal you're trying to achieve in terms of whatever product or service you're selling.